live on Facebook and Instagram. I'll have my team confirm that, and then I think we're live everywhere on all the platforms. And then we'll just kick it off. So let me see. Mike from PA. We got Greg from Florida. If you're just joining us, one of the questions I asked was just where are you from, and then like if there's anything that stops you from trading or that you have like a fear of with the stock market, um, feel free to post it and let me know. So, Michaela checked. We're live on Facebook. Cool. I think they'll moderate the comments there. Greg said, not a fear trading, getting ready to retire. Okay, he did say that. Want income, been watching you for a while. Options versus Forex. Mike Bohm, I think I said that right. How do you buy and sell calls and put options with a small account and balance? Michaela, can you just double check audio's clean on the other two platforms? If you can just confirm that.
Yeah, I can hear you on Facebook and also YouTube.
Okay, cool. So nice. I think we can use the Hio PR40 for both, which is the cleanest audio. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So here's what I got for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to walk us through. Let me close these questions. I'm going to walk us through like a framework that you should be considering when you're thinking about the stock market, whether you're thinking about getting involved or whether you're thinking about is this the right platform for me, and then what steps do I need to take to get where I need to be with respect to the stock market. All right. So if you see me looking over, I'm obviously working multiple screens here, but we're going to be drawing on one screen. And maybe I'll just use some of the stuff I drew earlier. That way we can just vibe together. So let's, yeah, let's do that. All right. So let me share the screen and then we'll go from there. All right. So should be sharing my screen now. You should guys should be able to see what I'm seeing. So what else did we get? How do you buy and sell call and put options with a small account balance of less than $2,000? All right. So we'll get into all that. So here we are, guys. I'm also going to walk you through behind the scenes of Power Trades University. Some of you may know we talked about our pricing is changing. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But when you look at the stock market, I did this presentation earlier about 12 o'clock, so we got the same slides. I'll spare you watching me draw on my little tablet here. But most people get into the stock market because they want to make money, right? And so most people get in the market because they want to make money, but they want to make money without technically like working more hours for it. Okay. And so when I was in network marketing, I'm going to switch back here on this screen. You guys can see me. When I was in network marketing, it was something called, they were talking about the principles of wealthy people. Okay. And nobody had ever explained it to me like this before. But when they did, it really made a whole lot of sense. Right. And so it was like, you know, we all only have 24 hours in the day. And so it's like, well, how do you get more than 24 hours or how do you make more money? And really, it was kind of like only two or three ways that you can do it. And this isn't rocket science. Number one was to have people work for you. Obviously, if it's two of me, I got 48 hours now. Does that make sense? If it's three of me, maybe me and two teammates, I got 36 hours. So that was one way that you can kind of duplicate your efforts, right? Through other people. That's people leverage, right? And that's the only way. That's another way that you can also, another way you can duplicate your time. What's called time leverage is doing something called one to many. So right now, instead of me sitting down with 20 and 30 people and doing this presentation one, two, three, four times, I'm leveraging my time by getting a bunch of people on and doing it one time. So that's called time leverage, right? I'm leveraging my time. And then the third way or principle that, you know, most wealthy people have is they have their money working for them. Okay. And so, what's the power in having your money work for you? So, number one, you don't have to deal with any personalities, right? Your money doesn't really talk back to you. The cool thing about your money is it doesn't get sick. So, your money doesn't take like a day off from work. Okay. Your money doesn't call in tomorrow because the kid's babysitter called off. Does that make sense? So, that's one of the beautiful things about having your money work for you is that Jason, you can't see my screen on YouTube. Hold on, let's see. But can you see it on Facebook? Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. It should just be me on camera. So I'm not showing my screen. It's just me talking. So
Sorry, we saw it and then it disappeared, so I want to make sure that was on purpose.
yeah, it's me. It's just me talking right now. Otherwise, I mean, we can bring it back in. They'll be looking at this right here. But we're talking about number one, money, right? If you're on the webinar, you can see both screens. All right. So, um, but you need, your money doesn't get sick. Your money doesn't call in. So I'm going to switch back because I'm just talking. So your money doesn't get sick. Your money doesn't call in. And so that's why it's so powerful being able to have your money work for you. But it's also arguably one of the most difficult things to do, or else everybody would be doing, right? Because most people, we'll talk about the fears in a minute, but most people have a fear of losing it. So that sounds great, Jason Brown. But, most people fear losing the money more than they get excited about the principles of wealthy people and having your money work for you and kind of getting your time or your life back or whatever it is that you want to do. The second reason that most people want to make money, and this is like the word reasons right here scribbled there, is that most people want to get out of debt or they want to buy something. Okay. And when you look at the two things together, when you look at getting out of debt, you look at buying something. Okay. I want you to really think about what you're really saying, okay? Typically, you want to get out of debt or you want to buy something, but you really want the lifestyle that comes with it. So let me give you an example about a car. When I think about like a Bentley or I think about a Ferrari or I think about a Lamborghini, I remember people at work or people be like, I would never pay that much money for a car. And I'll be honest, as long as I'm working a job, I would never pay that much money for a car either. That would be ridiculous. When you do the math on buying a Lamborghini or you do the math on buying a Bentley, $150,000, $200,000 car, if you make $50,000 a year and you work 40, 50, 60 hours a week for that $50,000 a year, you would have to work for 3 years straight in order to pay off that car. Can you imagine going to work every day 3 years for a car? Now, you obviously wouldn't work straight in a row. It would be over time, whether it's over 7 years or 10 years for you to finally pay the car off. But no matter how you slice it, when you add it up, you work 3 years of your life just to drive that car. Nobody in their right mind would do, well, I wouldn't say nobody. People do it all the time, right? People go in debt for worser things. But purses, shoes, all kind of crazy stuff. And then they work all year long trying to pay it off. But the point is, you would buy that car though if your money was, let's say the car note was $2,000 a month. What if your money was generating $2,000 a month? Now you look at that car a little bit different because you're like, why not? I use my brain, I use my money, I use leverage to go and pay for it, okay? And so that's what we're talking about, lifestyle, right? How can you afford some of the cool stuff without physically working for it? Because if you physically work for it, you'll probably never buy a Bentley or a Ferrari. And maybe you're on here and you're like, cars are not my thing. Okay, a big house, Dolce and Gabbana purse for the ladies, a Dunienberg belt, I don't know, whatever your fancy is, right? Maybe it's this lavish trip around Europe, okay? But most people typically will never buy it. Now, when you take a look at getting out of debt, I wrote this example out. I thought I wrote it out. No. Okay. So when you talk about, oh, you guys can't see. When you talk about getting out of debt, let me bring up a new screen here. When you think about getting, come on, back in. When you think about getting out of debt, this was me. So let me share my screen. This was me. I kid you not. I remember one time I had about, I think I had something like, it was like 66. I was 66, like $1,000 in debt. Okay. And so what was my game plan? Does anybody, you guys probably don't know, but my game plan for this debt, it was very simple. My game plan was to take my tax returns, which I don't know, most people get like $2,000 from the tax returns. And my game plan was to pay that off over, let's say you got $2,000, right? And if all you could put is $2,000 on $66,000 worth of debt, how long, all right, let's put time in here. How long would it take you to pay that off? Very simple math, right? It would take you about 33 years. That's assuming, you made the same $50,000 salary or whatever, and you took your tax return and you paid off your debt every single year. You put that, and you accumulated no new debt, by the way. It would take you 33 years to pay off $66,000 in debt, right? And so I asked myself, okay, I said, or I was like, what if I could get $2,000 and use it to generate maybe $5,000 a year? Okay. Now, here's the thing. Maybe it takes you 2 years to do it, right? But if you could eventually take $2,000 and have it start to generate you about $5,000 a year, right? I looked at the difference and I said, wow, if I was generating $5,000 a year, that would take me about 13 years to pay off that debt. And the reason I bring that up is because most people are either in debt or they want to invest to get out of debt. And what I've noticed at a young age was, I was like, if I take this $2,000 and pay off the debt, it's going to take me 33 years. But I was like, if I could find out how to take this $2,000 and earn $5,000 a year, then it could get done in 13 years. But what if year number 2, you made 5,000, year number 1, you earned 5,000. So you come back in year number 2 with $7,000. And if you could repeat that process, right? You got a whole year to figure out how to flip or double your money, right? Whether that's taking, 3 trades a year that make you $2,000, however you want to divide it up. And so I saw very quickly that just trying to go to work and pay off this debt, for me, it wasn't an option. I'm like, I won't be able to ever do something. I was like 21. I was like, so you mean I can't really do anything until I'm 54? Like, I don't like that plan. Now, I'm not saying this is the only plan to pay off debt, but once the debt gets so big, working extra hours is not really a long-term solution. Like, it's like, oh, I can work 10 extra hours. It's like, okay, if I make $30 an hour, it's like, okay, I just made $300. I'm not poo-pooing that. I'm just saying I looked at the stock market as a way out. That's all I'm trying to share with you guys. And so when I start thinking about, most people want to get out of debt, and they want to get out of debt because they would like to get on the other side of enjoying some of the finer things in life, but they don't necessarily have a plan or a vehicle, without going back to school for 4 years and then hoping you can get a job, etc. They don't necessarily have a really great plan to get out of debt. And I'm just sharing with you my story. You can follow Dave Ramsey, who just says stops buying, mocha lattes and put that extra $3 towards your debt. There is no wrong plan as long as you're chipping away at it. I'm just telling you what worked for me. It may not work for everybody. Because people be like, well, that's risky. It was like, well, I was willing to take that risk to cut down 33 years. So that's just how I looked at it. I was like, I'm young, no kids, no real responsibility. Even if I had kids and real responsibility, I was going to take the risk to chop down that 33 years. All right. The third thing, or the third reason that most people want to invest in the stock market, is they want their time back. And so why do they want their time back? Maybe they want to spend it with their loved ones. There's doctors, there's lawyers, there's people that make really good money. Okay. But they never get to see their kids go to school. They never get to go to the baseball games. They never get to see their wife, see their husband, put their kids to sleep at night. They're up early in the morning. They come home super late. All right. So people want to spend time with their loved ones. I always say too, people like to volunteer and do stuff in their faith, their community, right? So they want to give their time for charity. But it's super hard to give your time to charity and go feed the homeless and feed the hungry. I'm not saying you can't do it like as a hobby on the weekend once a month, but to really do it like on the level that you really want to do it at, it's very hard to do it if you're worried about your next meal, if you're worried about the lights being cut off at your own house, right? And so when you get money out of the way, when you're no longer worried about where the money comes from, how you're going to, survive yourself, once you get that out of the way, you can be an abundance or a giver of your time, of your resources, your love, all of that good stuff, right? And so that's why most people want their time back. I remember when I quit my job and it was actually anticlimactic because it was kind of boring. I was just home all day by myself, didn't have a whole lot of friends who were free or home. And so once you remove time as an issue out of your life and money, you really are forced to think well, what am I passionate about? What do I want to do every single day? I think that's why most lottery winners and people go they end up turning to drugs and losing their mind because for once in their life, they actually don't have to go to work tomorrow. But at the same time, for once in their life, they're forced to really look inside themselves and say, who am I? What do I want to do with my time now? I'm not living for Saturday anymore. I got Monday through Friday. And that's scary for most people. They're like, I don't know what to do every day. I don't even know what I'm passionate about. Right. Most people turn to, I guess it's some negative stuff, some drugs, women, all kind of crazy stuff. But the point is, right, if you're on some positive type stuff, right, how much more of an impact can you have once you get money as an issue out of your life, right? So these are some of the top reasons, not the only reasons that most people want to get involved with the stock market. If I missed a reason or you don't fall into one of these categories, do me a favor, type it in the box, whether you're watching on the live stream or on the webinar. I'm just curious. If I missed one of your reasons, type it in the box of, why you would want to get involved. Or if you're like, yep, I'm in one of the top three, just let me know. I'm just curious. All right. I got the question boxes pulled up. So I'll see them as they come in. Cause I know I fell into all three of those. I was like, how do I do what the wealthy do? How do I get out of debt? How do I live the lifestyle of luxury and not feel bad about it? Right. And not feel, I can't buy this because it costs too much. Well, it's well, define cost too much because not everybody feels that way about the price of everything. Does that make sense? And so let's move down to the bottom, which is what stops most people from achieving the top three, having their money working for them, getting out of debt, living the lifestyle that they want to live. What stops most people from spending their time with their loved ones, charity, stuff like that? Shamar on YouTube said he wants to become the best trader in the world. I like that. But why? Why do you want to be the best trader in the world, right? Something to think about. What will the money do for you once you make it, all right? But here's what stops most people. And am I sharing that screen? Let's go. Here's what stops most people. If we go down to the bottom, number one is the fear of losing money, right? So people are scared to go for it because they're scared to lose money. Once I learned that life goes on after losing money kind of became quite easy for me. I wouldn't say easy. It's still hard to lose money, but I've lost over $100,000 before. I literally thought that was the end of the world. And here I am, years later, it's just a distant memory, right? Living my best life, driving the car I want to drive, living where I want to live. And so losing money is not the end of the world. A mentor of mine, or a book I read in a mentor of mine said, people be like, how come you're so positive about losing money? And it's like, because I've already decided up front that I'm just going to bounce back and try again. Does that make sense? Like, have you ever lost $10 or had some money fall out of your purse or your pocket? It's like, yes, it hurt for a minute, but you didn't wake up the next day and be like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to just commit, I'm just going to end it because I lost that $10. No, you're like, okay, either go to the bank, pull out 10 more dollars. If I don't have $10 in the bank, I'll work. We'll get paid in 2 weeks. And so losing money is actually nothing to really be afraid of once you realize, like, oh, okay. Have you ever bought something that has no value today, like a TV, a video game, a purse, some shoes? Yes, you got to wear it, but in theory, you threw some money away because it didn't generate any new capital, right? And so you've already experienced what it's like to lose money. If you've ever been to a casino, right? You walked in, you walked out, no more money, but you're like, I had fun. Well, once you start looking at investing like that, it's like, not only is it fun, but it gives you an opportunity to live the lifestyle like no other people, right? But number two is another reason why most people don't invest. Number two is probably as big or bigger than number one, and that is the fear of looking stupid. Most people won't even try because what? What if I look stupid? What if I look stupid to my spouse? What if I look stupid to my friends, right? Unfortunately, people are more worried about looking stupid than they are about getting to the other side of getting out of debt, getting to the other side of financial freedom. They're more worried about looking stupid than getting to the other side of the equation, which I get it. I won't say it blows my mind because I was part of that camp. I had to read a lot of books, hang out with a lot of people, change some stuff my parents taught me. I'm like, am I good enough? Do people like us? Can we do this? You got to get some of that crap out of your head. But, while it's in your head, you're worried about looking stupid. And then the third one that we see all of the time that stops people from having their money work for them is they don't know where to start. So I want to break down where to start, how to get this thing going, and walk you through a framework and a process. Then I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you inside of Power Trades University, the platform, and how we can help you and if we can be of service to you. All right. So we talked about getting out of debt. So here's the other thing. Here's the framework for learning anything. Okay. So I did these two examples earlier. When you look at driving a car, okay, you got a 16-year-old, maybe you got a kid that's 13, 14, going to be 15 soon, right? When you think about driving a car, you don't just throw them the keys and say, here's the car. Let's see what happens. If you crash it, then we'll put you in driver's training. If you crash it, then we'll give you some training and take you out on the road. No, you don't do that. That would be stupid, right? So what do? You take your kid and you give them driver's training, right? So they have to sit through a course. They have to drive with a driver that has a separate brake over there that can stop the car in case they freak out. They take a written test. They take a road test. They practice. Then do they give them their license and say, go ahead, you're all set? No, you get a permit, right? So you get a permit and you get to drive with a licensed driver or someone who knows what they're doing for a while. And then you go back, you take the final test, and then you're able to drive. If you think about becoming a lawyer, yes, this scribble scrabble says lawyer right here. There's a W in there and there's a R. This is doctor, by the way. But when you think about becoming a lawyer, you think about becoming a doctor, okay? Nobody just says, let me go operate on some people first and kind of like see what happens. You don't do that. You don't just go say, let me go operate. Let me go handle somebody's case. And if they get thrown in jail, then I'll go back to school and actually see what it takes to be a lawyer. No, you go to college, then you get out of college, you go to grad school. As you get out of grad school, you do what? You do like an apprenticeship, okay? And so you're practicing under somebody who's been there before, who's seen some things, who've done something before. Now, why is it when it comes, by the way, is driver's training free, right? No, right? Is college free, right? No. Is graduate school free? Like, no. But what's very interesting, when it comes to the very thing, all right, where is it at? I keep some money um on me or on my drawer. By the way, this is if you've seen any of my videos, this is not real money, okay? It's actually fake money, but I like to hold it because it illustrates as a prop life, okay? And so when you think about this money right here, okay, why is it that we will let this money, we will let this keep us up at night? We will let this cause divorce. We will let this cause stress. Okay. It's that important to us. Divorces, stress. You work every day of your life for it. We put it in the bank. We hoard it. We don't want anything to happen to it. Okay. So we work all our life. We try to protect it. We're willing to spend it over here for driver's training. We're willing to spend it to go to college, perhaps. But why is it, if this is so important when it comes to investing, this is the only place where people are like, let me see if there are some free videos out there on YouTube, right? Or let me try it first. And if I lose $2,000, then I'll take a class. It blows my mind that this is so important to people. But when it comes to learning about it, it's mind blowing how this is one of the only categories that people are like, well, how much is that course? Oh, that's too much. Or let me try it on my own. Or how about this? Let me go ask my friend what he thinks. It's like your buddies are broke. Your buddies aren't driving their dream car. Your best friends aren't living in their dream house. Now, if they are, then I respect their opinion. But if they didn't make that money from the stock market, if they didn't learn how to invest, why do we want to go figure it out on our own? We're worried about how much an investing course costs. We want to go ask our broke friend, what do they think about it when they've never invested $1 in their life? And so it just blows my mind that when it comes to the stock market, most people don't take a class, even though they take a class with everything else in life. Most people don't want to pay for anything, even though if you want to be a lawyer or a doctor, where they tell you have a cap on how much you can make, and they tell you it takes you 8 to 10 years, and hopefully you get into somebody else's practices, but we're willing to go not only spend money that we have, we're willing to spend money we don't have, take out loans, go in debt for this plan right here. But when it comes to learning how to have your money work for you, most people are just like twiddling their thumbs. Again, let me see if I can go find some free videos, ask my broke friend. And then most people want to jump in and be like, I'm going to try it out first. And if I lose money, then I'll take a course. It's like, why do you think you don't have to practice over here before you actually put real money to work, right? Oh, let me share that screen back with YouTube and Facebook. Why do you think on this side of the equation that the rules are changed? Or why do people change the rules when it comes over here? It makes absolutely no sense. If you leave with nothing else from this webinar tonight, I want you to leave a smarter person. And smart people stop doing stupid stuff. Okay? And so be a smart person. This is the formula for anything else you want in life. You want to be a basketball player? What do? You typically roll your kid in the sport. Maybe it's 10 or 20 bucks to play the sport. Maybe it's nothing, but you got to pay for the jersey. You got to pay for the shoes, right? And if you're really serious, you got to pay for like a private coach, right? It's like we do this in everything else in life. And then when it comes to our money, this is like the only area where we're like, how about you do it for me? Or how much does it cost? Or where can I find out how to do it for free? It just blows my mind. All right. And so I'm laying the framework out for you because this is what you have to do to become successful. You need to study. You need to take the test. You need to practice in a fake or a simulated environment, kind of like a pilot. And then, and only then, will you be ready for real money. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to switch gears. I want to walk you through the back end of Power Trades University. Whether you join us or not, my goal is to do something that my mentor once did for me. And he said, after today, you can never say you didn't know. And I thought, that's a very interesting way to put it. He said, you can just never say you never knew. Whether you join us or not, whether you leave here and have your money work for you or not, doesn't matter. He said, but you can never say you didn't know. He's like, I'm taking that away from you today. The fact that you can never say you didn't know. So let's do it. And then we're going to open it up for, like I said, question and answers here in a second. But let me walk you through the back end of Power Trades University. So if we know this, I've been through this process. I was on the other side wondering, how does money work? How do these people invest? How do they have the fancy cars, the fancy house? What is it, principles that they have in their life that I don't? And the answer is not quit your job and go take some crazy risk. Is keep your job, keep your day job. I think Rich Dad Poor Dad said it like this. He said, keep your day job, but mind your own business, right? And so what does that mean before I walk you through this? He said, keep your day job, but mind your own business means like you still need to work and create kind of a comfortable living, but on the side, you should be focused on your business. What is your business? The business of managing your own money, the business of creating leverage, the business of creating wealth for you and for your family, whatever that looks like, because it's going to look different for everybody, okay? It's going to look totally different for everybody. So let's get back to walking you through the back end. So what did I do here? We put together, in my opinion, the most comprehensive format platform for you to learn, to remove the excuse of being afraid. I don't know where to get started. I don't know how to open a trading account. I don't know what to do. We put it together all for you. So number one, you got the community where you would introduce yourself. This is where you just come in and you say, hey, I'm new. I'm excited. I'm happy to be here, whatever the case may be. Most of the times, look at this. I'm a new student. To be honest, I have no experience of trade, and I hope I can get the knowledge I need from Power Trades University. 15-year-old Canadian, not even in America, 52 years old. But you're here with like-minded people, okay? So that's number one. You're in the platform where you get to connect with like-minded people. That was big for me because I remember when I first started, all my friends was like, you're dumb, you're stupid, that doesn't work for people like us. You know that doesn't work. You just go lose all your money. And for a split second, I almost didn't move forward. And I was like, man, I got to surround myself with some people who think different, all right? And so that is why we built a custom forum, a custom platform so that you can be around other like-minded individuals. Now, I'm going to skip over free charting. But by the way, we got some software in here. So you're like, I need charting software. That's all in here. You may be thinking, I don't even know what a chart is. So let's talk about where you would start. You would start with the foundations course. So everybody needs a trading account in order to, matter of fact, let me do something here. Let me switch this. Let me go back. I want to show this other screen for a second because I walked through this earlier. All right. So step one, you need a brokerage account. Step two, you need to understand the platform. What is the stock market? What is the indexes? How do orders get routed? All right. You need to understand the industry. What am I getting into? You need to craft a game plan. Again, I said everybody's game plan is going to be different. Then you need to practice. Then you need to analyze what went right and what went wrong after you practice. And then, and only then, are you prepared for real money? Now, in order to get steps 1 through 6, you're going to have to put in time and you're going to have to put in effort. Nobody can change that for you. And so when you think about the year 2020 is coming up, right? And you're like, oh, I want to have my best year ever. I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire next year, all this stuff. Well, what most people mistakenly do is they wait till January 1st to actually start learning. Well, when January 1st gets here, it's like you're behind the ball. Why? Because you haven't opened a brokerage account. You don't understand the platform. You don't understand the industry. So if that takes you 2 months or 3 months, that puts you all the way into March. Okay. So that puts you into March as far as before you can maybe even start to take your first trade. And then you look up at the end of the day and you wonder why you didn't hit your goals. It's not because you didn't set realistic goals, but it's because in the planning process, you didn't account for the fact that there's a learning curve, okay? Before you can actually start making money or driving a car, you got to go to driver's training. And so there's that learning curve that you have to go through. And the sooner you start, the better off you'll be. I don't care what age you are. The sooner you start, the better off you'll be. So back to this. We break down how to open your first trading account, whether it's a stock trading account, an options account, the preferences, how to create your watch list, how to use the charts in there, how to do streaming quotes, how to practice trading, which is very key. How do you practice before you actually put money down? We walk you through how the entire platform works. We're going to walk you through the entire stock market. Look at all these modules on what's the ticker, what's the sector, industry, ETF, indexes. More importantly, what are the free resources that I can use to get started? The market terminology, all of that. And how do we break this stuff down? It's all broken down by video lesson. All right. High quality video. Here, we'll just hit the play button. Boom. Whoosh. You'll even get a fancy logo opener. All right, so all high quality video. If you got questions or something you don't understand, you can post your questions below the video, but it's all here. It's all here, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to wake up and wonder what you need to know next. How do you do fundamental analysis? All these modules are going to break down how to do fundamental analysis. How do you do technical analysis? What's a chart? What's the candlesticks? What's all that stuff? We're breaking it down for you. What about the 3 most common trends? It's all there, right? Let's go into the bonus section. All right. So in the bonus section with the downloads, we got a trade ticket. This is actually a ticket or a tracker that I fill out anytime I place a trade. At least I try to fill it out every time. But for you as a newbie, it makes you cross your T's and dot your I's before you ever take a trade. We walk you through how to use that. We introduce you to options. There's $1 million spreadsheet that has like a formula that shows how you can put in however much money you want to start with and where you could possibly be and what type of percent interest rate you need to earn to get there. Live Q&A, but this is what I want to go to, the PDF and download section. So we got the market definitions PDF download. We have the rules PDF and download. We got the trade ticket download. It's all here. It's all here. We left no stone unturned, as the old folks say, right? Then that's number one, right? What's the platform? Do you understand the language? Do you have a trading account? Now, when you start talking about supercharging your account or leveraging your account or how do you get those 100% returns, keep in mind they're not guaranteed, but that's when we start to get into talking about options. Now, I'm not going to walk through all the options module, but introduction, the calls, puts, it's all here. It's all here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we're breaking it all down, how calls work, how puts work. If you don't understand the Greeks, the beta, delta, theta, gamma, rho, all of that stuff, it's probably foreign to some people, but we're breaking it down. We give you all the cheat sheets, how to sell naked puts, Q&A webinar, the PDF downloads and cheat sheets. It's all here. The option worksheet, the option strategy profit grid. So you know when you make profit, when you lose money, what the stock needs to do in order for you to profit. The option structure and formulas, right? How do they come up with the price for the option? It's all broken down there. The option buying and selling rules, when to do it, not to do it. I mean, guys, it's here. I'm getting excited. Like, I want to go back through the course, and I wrote the course. All right. I recorded it. So that's that. Let's go back. There's more. How they say it. But wait, there's more, right? There's the advanced option course. This is where things get really kind of crazy. It's like you want to do spreads, debit spreads, credit spreads, bull call spreads, bear put spreads. This is where we start to take 2 to 4 options and we create a sophisticated investment strategy. No matter if the stock goes up or down, you can start to limit your risk, rent out your stocks, There's a bunch of stuff you can do here. It just gets even more exciting. So that's the courses, okay? Now, if all you needed was the courses, which some people do, the courses are good, but here's what I found. People are still scared to pull the trigger, take the trade, because, like I said, it's money. And so this is where we actually, every week, we go live for 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours. And, well, I could have did November. Let's just do November, all right? We go live for 2 hours, and we look up charts after chart after chart for 2 hours every single week. Now, here's what I find interesting for most people. Most people like, I would learn the stock market, but I don't have time. Listen. You're not going to get rich by osmosis. You're not going to get out of debt by osmosis, okay? You're going to have to cut off the TV, maybe not watch This Is Us next week, okay? What was the other show? Game of Thrones is over, okay? You're going to have to put in at least 2 to 4 hours a week. But here's the thing. If you can't put in 2 hours a week, we timestamp everything. So can you come in here and jump to the 14-minute time mark, the 27-minute time mark, the 32-minute time mark, and see what we said about these stocks? Okay, maybe you can't. You're so busy with your life, your kids, your job. I get it. I knew you were going to say that. So we created the trade tracker. What is this? You could come in after the session. If you can't watch the replay, you can't watch the timestamp, you could come in here and say, what did Jason Brown say about Facebook? By the way, if it's green, that was a trade that went right. If it's gray, that's a trade we didn't take. If it's red, that was a trade we lost money on. But you can come in here and be like, okay, what did they say about Facebook? Okay. What's the game plan? What option are we going to look at? What's the strategy? When we get out, when are we getting out, or what happened? And then how did that trade end up for us? It was a 99% return. I think we did a case study about that. We also do complete write-ups on the trade in the forum. So this was a bull call spread. So, no, you must be approved to do spreads. Here's the pattern. Here's why we're going to do it. Buy the first leg, sell the second leg. Let's do the math together. Here's the risk. Here's where you break even. Ladies and gentlemen, as my mother would say, I don't know how else to help you because we done gave you everything, all right? My mom would say that when, like, I would act up in school or something, and she's like, I don't know how else to help you, right? She's like, I don't know what else to do. And I used to be like, okay, Mom, it ain't you, it's me. I could be doing better in school. But her point was she gave you all the resources. All right. So we're giving you all the resources. I don't know how else to help people. You can watch the replay. You can jump to timestamps. You can just click the trade tracker and see what trades we're looking at. These are all the archives. That's another course that's coming. We even walk you through how to use the university. It's all here. I don't know how else to help you, which is why I'm just showing you, right? You also got to be ready for it. By the way, just like school, we also have the quizzes built in here. So once you go through the course, you got the quiz that you can take to make sure you actually understand the information. And then again, you also want to paper trade and practice what we're talking about to make sure that you understand what you're doing. All right. So we got a bunch of other stuff we're getting ready to add to the platform, but let me switch cameras and bring myself back up, and then we'll open it up for questions. So here's the deal. Me and my team, we said beginning of this year, we wanted to try something, do something different. We had a join fee. Our join fee, for some of you might be on here who joined under the join. It was $1,000. It's $1,000 to join, and it was like $99 a month. Okay, so we said, all right, how can we help the most people possible? And I wanted to call people bluff. So I'm just going to be honest, right? I wanted to call people bluff because people be like, it's too expensive. When I see other people charging $3,000, $10,000 for the same information, we had $1,000 join fee. It's like $99 a month after that. $1,000, then $99 a month. So we said, what if we do something crazy? What if we just remove the $1,000 join fee and let people join for $99 a month? Now, let me just to put some context to this. I'm going to pull up something just to put some context to this. I don't even think I spelled it right. Power Trades University. That's how you know it's getting late. I can't even spell right. Let me share my screen back because I just want to put some context to what we're talking about. Okay. So we did something ridiculous, which I don't know that we'll ever do it again, but we tried it. I said, I want to call people's bluff. I want to remove the excuses. So if you were to buy the courses by themselves, that's $2,000 alone. That's no coaching. That's no community. That's no live session. That's no forum. That's no asking questions. There's no live video every week. There's no replay, no timestamps, no trade tracker. That's just go ahead, go after it by yourself, see how you would do. We said, what if we remove the join fee and give everybody the courses? By the way, we even slashed the price and said, let's make this $99 a month, slash that price. Let's make this one $149 a month, and then let's just give people the foundations course. Let's give them the option. Well, you're leasing it, right? You're leasing the access as long as you're paying your monthly fee. And then they get where the additional value is really at is watching a real trader trade and look for trades, the group coaching forums, the live weekly sessions, access to the trade tracker, the quiz. By the way, they can cancel at any time, right? Some people, listen, we're not crazy. Some people sign up for $99. Like, I'm going to watch as much as I can and cancel in 30 days. Listen, we got almost 400 members that pay anywhere between $99 and $199 a month. Trust me when I say we're doing okay, all right? We're not broke or begging for people's money, but we just said, let's remove the barriers and help people get started. But we also found the funniest thing happen when we removed that barrier. We noticed there wasn't a surge of people that, they found a new excuse, but it's $99 a month, or I don't have any money to trade, right? And so what we realized was, people will make excuses for why they won't go after their dreams. But here's what hasn't changed on our end. We kept improving the platform. We built out a custom forum, custom university, custom quiz software, and then we're looking to add custom live streaming software because we're thinking about introducing a new day trading program. We hired more customer service. We hired more people to handle emails. And so why am I telling you all this? While we cut the prices for you or the public, our costs didn't get cut, right? Nobody gave us a discount on web hosting. My team members that are on moderating the chat right now, they're not going to say, Jason Brown, you're a good guy. We're not going to bill you for working today, right? So we hired more people, more software, more customer service, better customization. People were like, we had a free Facebook group. We moved it from a free Facebook group because people were like, I don't use Facebook. And we built a custom forum. This was not free. We keep getting better and better and adding more stuff. We add, high quality video in front of the green screen, very professionally produced, high quality audio. It's all there and it all costs us money. So I'm only saying that to say we're bringing our join fee back, but I wanted to walk you guys through what's the university, what's involved. Because once I raise the price back to regular price, which is still below market price, I want to be able to sleep at night. And I don't want to check an email and be like, oh, the price went up. You didn't tell us. You greedy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, guys, I don't know how else to help you. All right. We put this platform together. I wouldn't say for me because I'm already trading in the stock market. We put it together for you, and because it's my passion, it gives me purpose every day. It's kind of boring to just trade stocks and go about my business. It gives me something to look forward to of building a business, helping people, seeing them make money, seeing them lose money, helping them get it back. So in a sense, it is for me too. Obviously, it's a business. I like the revenue from the business as well, but I'm a trader first and foremost, primarily, and that's how we ended up teaching. I always say, people be like, well, why do you charge for coaching? I said, well, do you know anyone that's Failures don't give seminars, all right? People who don't know how it works aren't giving seminars. And I don't see Warren Buffett sitting you down and talking to you about how he's managing his $1 billion account, right? So if not me, then who else, right? So this is here to help people. And so I just wanted to do a live webinar, walk you through the back end, show you what's available, open it up for questions, because in about, I think we're raising the price. Is it Friday? It's either Friday, it's Monday. I don't know. And if you're like, how come you don't know it's your company? Because I tell Michaela, my assistant, to get it ready and then let me know when it's ready. And then we just launch it. We're not going to keep telling people it's coming. Prices are going up. Last chance. It's like, I'm telling you now, but forget the prices. I did this last webinar and I also want to make sure I do it this webinar, and then we'll open it up for questions. Okay. If you are flat broke, if you don't have any money to invest, this is not going to debt. This is not do something that's going to hurt you financially. I like to tell people, if it's now is not your time, then this just isn't your time. That's okay. If you come in here, that's why we create free videos on YouTube, right? It shows we're live right now, but we talk about stuff on YouTube for free. So feel free to binge all of our free stuff. We walk you through how to open a TD Ameritrade account, how to set that up. It's all here. But for those, and by the way, you can also go to the website, binge on all our free stuff. Lots of free stuff. So I don't want anyone feeling bad if they're in a financially strapped place, or this just isn't the time to take advantage of it. But I also don't want to see you out shopping and blowing your money on the flat screen TV in the next 30 days for Black Friday leading up into Christmas, then talking about you don't have no money to invest in yourself. But you wouldn't be here if that's you. But we got a lot of free stuff on here too. Check out the blog, submerge yourself in all the free stuff that you want. We do have free content, but for those who are looking to take it to the next level, for those who are tired of searching for random videos on the internet, trying to piece it all together, for those who want a place to ask their questions, be a part of the community, and want to grow in their finances, their knowledge with their trading, those are the people we're talking to. And those are the people we want to lock arms with and do business with as we roll into 2020 and make it the best year ever. So let me open it up for questions, comments, concerns, anything that you guys want to talk about. And then I got my team, man, in the chat on all the platforms. So they'll maybe pop in the questions as necessary. So go ahead. Let me know any questions, comments. And then Michaela, if any questions came through that I just didn't see already, feel free to unmute and read it or ask it. And so this is your time. This is your time. Whatever questions you got for me, shoot, let them fly. No question is a dumb question. Because after this, I'm going to sleep real good. So, and if there's no questions, I'm a big fan of not keeping you longer than you need to be. So I'm going to hang out for about another 2 to 5 minutes. Maybe you're thinking about questions. If you want to know how to sign up, anything like that. If you got questions about the platform, when do we go live? I can kind of explain all that, but let me know. So that silence from my team either means there's no questions or we did a really good job.
Yeah, we do have a question from YouTube from Ed. It's not exactly about the university, but he asks. Well, he says, "I love your transparency. What sort of account size do you recommend to start with?"
So Ed, my good friend on YouTube, the reality is if you could start with about $2,000, that's a good place. However, I first started with $500. I think the key is not how much you start with, but how realistic is your expectation. All right. So when I started with $500, I only wanted to make $50. Okay. And so my expectations were in alignment. Don't start with 500 and be like, I want to make $1 million. It's like, you can do that eventually, but that might take you 10 years, and that's okay. But most people come in with 500, like, I want to be a millionaire in 1 year. And it's like, come on, now you tripping. Now, the good news is you don't need any money to start learning and start practicing, okay? Because you want to practice before you actually put real money down. So if you already are thinking, I'm going to use my tax return, the fatal mistake that most people make is they say, I'm going to start learning when I get my tax return. Well, now that you got the money, you don't know what to do with it. That's why most lottery winners go broke. They haven't been preparing for that moment all their life where they run into $10 million. And the moment they get $10 to $40 million, they are ill prepared for that opportunity. So you want to start studying now. And then when tax returns come, you're like, I've been studying, I've been practicing, I've been fake trading, and I've been making consistent money. Now, when I get my tax return, or whatever, however you get your real money, then you'll be ready for it. But I started with 500. I obviously trade with way more than 500 today. But if you can start with 2,000, that's a good benchmark, because your first trade might be a losing trade. So if you lose 500 out of 2,000, you still got 1,500 left to make it back. So there is no guarantee your first trade is going to be a winner, or your second trade. So if you lose 500, then you lose 300, you got $1,200 left. And on that next trade, maybe you make 2,000. So if you've lost 800 and you make 2,000, you're net positive $1,200. You're in the profit $1,200. So that's the name of the game, because we do have losing trades at times, but it's investing. If we had the 100% formula, I'd be somewhere on a yacht next to Warren Buffett. I'm going to stick with these questions that I see coming in. If you got questions on the webinar, type them. If you got questions on Facebook, feel free to type them in. I'll take the next one from Diapa. It says, do you teach credit spreads? Yes. I don't know if you saw, we have an entire course on credit spreads. Let me switch my screen back. Yes, Michaela, I know about the IP address. I just forgot to sign in. But here we have an entire course on credit spreads. So introduction to spreads, debit and credit spreads. I mean, we got full all-out modules on this stuff. So absolutely, we're going to delete these videos after this anyway. But yeah, we got full all-out modules on spreads, how to use them, when to use them, cheat sheets, all the advanced strategies. We're still recording some of the courses for her and adding bonus materials, but that's my point. We keep improving the platform and the information that we bring in here. So yes, we do have a entire course on spreads, right? How long do you recommend someone train before they start training? Okay. So we have a model that we say is called, you want to practice trading until you're either net positive or you're right 7 out of 10 times. So what that simply means is, if you have $5,000 and you take 3 trades and you lose $2,000, but on your 4th trade you make $3,000, you're net positive $1,000. So you want to trade 10 times and make sure you're positive cash flow at the end of those 10 trades, or you're right 7 out of 10 times. So out of 10 trades, maybe you were wrong 3 times, but you were right 7. Or if you're wrong 7 times and you're right 3 times, those 7 times you want to be wrong small, and those 3 times you want to be right big. That's position management, position sizing, making sure you're cutting your losses early. If you can master that stuff, then you're going to be ready for real money. How long does that take? You know, I gave this example earlier. If you're a stay-at-home mom and you can read this stuff all day, she's going to learn faster than the guy that's a truck driver who's on the road for 18 hours a day driving a truck, and he only has a few hours in between deliveries where he can actually go through the modules. And so that guy might take 6 months to get ramped up. Stay-at-home mom who, you know, while the kids are playing, she's watching the modules, or she dropped the kids off at school, she's free all day. she's going to learn a whole lot faster. So everybody is on their own time frame, but I would say a good 30 to 60 days. You should be going through the information. You should be practicing. And some people practice longer, some people don't. So it really just depends on your lifestyle. You know, when I got into this, I was up all night looking at it because I was addicted. On my lunch break, I was, you know, instead of sitting in the cafeteria, I went out to my car. I was reading through the manual. I was looking at the videos on my laptop in my car. I was just so hungry. I was trying to compress the time frame, but you know, everybody's going to be on their own time frame. So great question. Let me see. Is there anything coming through on FB? Any questions I'm missing, Michaela? I don't see any new questions coming through on the webinar, but if you guys do got a question, let me know.
Yeah, we had asked what platform would you recommend for a practice account?
So TD Ameritrade, we also discussed a couple other platforms, but I would start with TD Ameritrade. I did a whole video on how to open a TD Ameritrade account, how to set up the practice account and everything like that, so you can get a realistic view of what it would look like to go in and buy a stock, sell a stock. So that's one of the platforms I like for simulation. I really liked Options Express, but when they got bought out by Charles Schwab, they, for whatever reason, didn't keep the practice trading account portion, which I thought was stupid, because that was like a great feature, but they eliminated. So really, I like Options Express better, but they got bought out and they canceled the virtual. It was called virtual trading, which I thought was so great. But so what else? What other question we got?
All right, just taking a look at Facebook. Looks like nothing new on Facebook, and we can post that link to our blog and tutorial about TD Ameritrade as well. John asked, "What books do you recommend on YouTube?"
I don't recommend any books really. Well, actually, I take that back. If you're gonna read books, I actually don't recommend stock trading books. It's too technical to read a book about. I tried reading a book before, and I was like, I needed a book to understand the first book. If you're gonna read a book, you need to read books like Good to Great, Failing Forward, Think and Grow Rich. Those are books you need to read because the majority of why most people aren't where they want to be is because of their mindset. And so I could lay everything out. I could make the platform free, but if you don't believe you can be successful, if you don't believe you can do this, you don't believe it's for people like you, nothing I teach you is going to help you if you don't get your mind right. So when I recommend books, I typically recommend, you know, mindset books like Think and Grow Rich. Failing Forward talks about if you fail, how to get back up from failure and keep moving forward, because you will fail in this industry. You will lose money. And man, if I would have quit the first time I lost money, I mean, where would I be? I still lose money to this day, right? I mean, so not every trade is a winning trade, but how do you handle failure? How do you bounce back from it? How do you get back up after you've been knocked down? So those are the books I recommend. Failing Forward, Think and Grow Rich, The Alchemist, which talks about what you put out in the universe comes back to you. Um, you know, The 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, right? It kind of just puts you in the mindset that maybe I can work 4 hours a week. But you can't do that if your money's not working for you, or you don't have systems or automation in place or something like that. So I'm more into books like that. So
And a great question from Corey coming from YouTube. He asks, how much depth do you cover how to read charts, and do you have intermediate to advanced students or only beginners?
we've been doing this for about 4 years. So our students range, you know, we got people who've been with us for the entire 4 years. So I would hope they're advanced at this point, but we got some of everybody. And then we got people who are just making money and killing it, and they go off on their own. You know, we've had a couple people say, I'm killing it. I'm making a bunch of money. I'm just ready to go off and do my own thing right now. So, and then typically they come back too. So, I mean, it's all over the place. How in depth do we go? the courses go from beginner, from foundations, all the way up to advanced options. So we cover a pretty wide range of things. And then we got the master classes where we go in depth into technical analysis, stochastics, MACD, Bollinger Bands, moving averages. So this field is so wide. There's so much to learn. And even when you think you know it all, we got members who've been with us 2 years or a year that go back and watch the courses and be like, wow, now I've heard it differently, or now I truly know what it means, because I thought I knew what it meant before. Now I know what it means after trade and getting some experience. So, you never stop learning. And then we're actually going to do a course possibly, or we got our what's called Power Trade Elite level. That's like a $10,000 level that we're going to be offering, but that goes into more taxes. That goes into trading maybe a 6-figure or higher account. It goes into how to write your own custom scans and different things like that. So, I mean, we got levels for whatever, whatever you, whatever fits your fancy. I can't think of the right word. I mean, we got levels upon levels. But always, some people be like, how much does it cost to work with you one-on-one? And we be like, okay, let's get you in our $10,000 program. Oh, well, how much is it just to join the Power Trades University? I ain't ready for that. So I always kind of chuckle because, sometimes people poke their chests out. What's the best, biggest package to work with you? It's like, all right, let's go. Let's make it happen. But I only joke about that. I paid $30,000 to work with a coach before. So, and it was worth every penny. It was a year-long mastermind. Made some great friends, learned a bunch of stuff. But, so Larry King looks like his stuff needs to be deleted, but looks like somebody should be on it. All right. So if there's actually, you could just block Larry. Just block him. No, literally, just put user in timeout. Boom, or hide user from this channel. Like anybody typing anything stupid, you'll just get blocked, right?
Already on it. It's done.
Okay, cool. Let me see. Was there a question that came through? PG Ward on the webinar says, I wanted to start investing for the last year or so, just don't know where to start. I don't know if that's a new question, but where you would start, join Power Trades University, you'd start with the foundations course. We'd walk you through opening your first trading account, walk you through how to read stock charts, then start watching the live webinars where we actually put it into action. And then you would practice before you put real money down. That would be literally how you would start. So out of respect for everyone's time, I don't want to make this longer than it's supposed to be. I didn't know if we would go a full hour. We're going for about an hour and 15 minutes. So here's what you can do. Let me turn my screen sharing back on. And if you got questions for us, you can, boom. So you can click see plans and prices at Power Trades University. If you got questions for us, scroll all the way down to the bottom. All right. You can call us. That is our real phone number. We will answer. If we don't, you'll get voicemail and myself or someone from my team will call you back. You can shoot us an email at support@Power Trades University. So if you got any questions, comments, you can hit us up that way. If there's something we didn't answer tonight for you. And then there's the contact us button down here. If you want to start like a instant message type chat with us, you can do that as well. If you just click on that, it's going to ask you for your full name, your email, and then you can start a message with us. I once heard if you give people too many choices, they do nothing, but I am going to go against that myth and say, also, if you're on our main website, the Brown Report, I think at the bottom, you can hit Messenger and you can chat with us on Facebook Messenger if you want to chat with us that way. Again, you got our phone number down here. You also got our email address, info@thebrownreport.com. So, I mean, literally, it's all here for you if you want to chat about it or if you got questions. But I think Friday, we're going to be reenacting or reinstating the join fee. And we pretty much are going to be moving forward from there. Even with the join fee, we're still underpriced. But we'd love to have you. If you got any questions, let us know. If you want to continue enjoying the free content, hey, we appreciate that too. So we're going to end it right here. I appreciate your time. Thank you, team, for being on here tonight. And if you got questions, we'll be talking to you in Facebook Messenger, YouTube underneath the video. Leave a message. Facebook underneath the video. Email us. Call us. Let's talk about it. Let's get your questions answered so we can help you make 2020 the best year ever. Good night.